Good evening to you, and good to have you with us here at 5 o'clock on this Thursday evening. I'm Jim Scott.
And I'm Tammy Melchak. Thanks for stopping in tonight.
17 News is your local election headquarters, and we are now less than 3 weeks away from November's midterm election, and ballots have already been arrived in mailboxes across Kern County. Voters are making decisions on contentious races and high-stakes ballot measures as we speak. But the most controversial part of this election may not be who or what we are voting for, but simply how we are casting our ballot. 17's Maddie Gannon in studio tonight with more. Maddie?
Jim, for the last 2 years, we've seen election integrity take center stage. Tonight, we look closer at one of the most controversial rules, California's voter ID law. Less than 3 weeks from the midterm election, one question emerging at Kern's Board of Supervisors meetings, our local debates, even conversations with voters at the fair.
But do we need an ID to vote?
Why in Kern County do you not have to show an ID when you come out to vote?
A voter is not required to show us an ID in order to be able to vote. The only time that we do require an ID is a person who is voting for the first time in a federal election, because that is federal election law.
Kern County Registrar of Voters-elect Amy Espinoza, who will take over for her boss Mary Bedard next year, explains California is one of 15 states that in most cases does not require a voter to show any form of identification when voting.
There is a misconception that, that it's Mary Bedard's call as far as whether or not people have to show their IDs, and it's not. It is a state issue, and again, we just follow the law.
That issue is one of the most contentious parts of elections. Republican analyst Kathy Abernathy explains some residents in Kern are concerned it could lead to confusion with names at the polls, or even someone showing up to vote saying someone else's name and voting in their place.
Why not do something that is that simple to make sure that, particularly if you have a name like John Smith or Susie Jones, that you don't have any kind of confusion? Why not ask for it?
Democratic analyst Neil Sinapa believes voting should be as easy as possible for citizens, arguing requiring voters to show an ID could disproportionately affect voters of lower economic status, who may be less likely to need or use an ID in their everyday life.
Adding obstacles and adding burdens to our citizens in order to allow them to vote. And I don't think that's right. I don't think it's something that we should be doing.
It's important to note here, showing an ID would only affect those voting in person at a polling site. According to the Secretary of State, in the June primary, only about 15% voted in person versus about 85% who voted by mail. In studio, Maddie Gannon, 17 News.